to what we were just talking about before we went to break.
Yeah, so here I was in Grass Valley doing this UFO hunt because the occupants actually called us there. And they said at Beale Air Force Base they were seeing strange activity, strange lights in the sky that are flying erratically. So my wife was 200 yards away from me with her team, and I was with my team. And then we see a UFO or what?
Uh-oh.
Hello?
Did we just
lost them?
No, we're going to try.
Flew off a little bit and then vanished.
Interesting.
Yeah, and what I found out is when my wife came up with her team, she was doing some kind of meditation with her. She has these gemstones, and she was doing some kind of meditation and sending out a communication, telepathy, to the UFO. And she says in her voice, which everybody heard, if you're a UFO, if you're an extraterrestrial, I want you to power up. And at that point in time, when she did that, it powered up, and then it turned dim, and everyone screamed. They couldn't believe it. And they all come up the hill, and they said, did you see the UFO power up? And I said, yeah, we were watching it. And they said, Deanna made the thing power up by asking it to power up. I go, what? And I couldn't believe it. So that was another thing that she did with UFOs. So we're doing a UFO hunt that's coming up. We'll be in that Gold Country, Golden Triangle. We're going to Placerville sometime in October. So we'll see what happens when we get there.
Oh, yeah. So what would you do, honestly, if you actually came upon a UFO?
Only, Gary, because I'm so curious. I would be scared to death, but I would say, okay, I got to go inside. I got to go inside. I'm curious. I want to know who these aliens are, where they're from, how long they've been observing us. I want to see what's inside their ship. I would bite my bite my lip and just go in there and see what's going on because I'm just so curious and just hope that they don't do any kind of probing on me.
Oh, yeah. I got to ask you a question, too, Paul. What do you think about cattle mutilations? Do you believe that is done by the government, or do you think it's being done by a combination of the government and maybe aliens, or aliens only?
I think the black helicopters is our government watching the cattle mutilations. The cattle mutilations, I believe that the extraterrestrials are doing something with the DNA of the cows, and that's why they're doing the mutilation and taking different parts and doing whatever experiments that they're doing. And I think it has to do with crossbreeding alien DNA with human DNA, but experimenting with cow DNA. And I hear cow DNA is somewhat similar to human DNA.
That's what I heard, too. But, hey, did you see on the news, guys, a couple of days ago that supposedly in India a cow was born with a kind of human face? Did you hear that?
Yeah, I seen that. It was Argentina, I think.
Oh, maybe it was Argentina.
Yeah,
I didn't see
it
that.
didn't live very long, but it was strange. It was weird looking.
Huh. I have to definitely check that one out.
I think it was about 2 days ago, James?
Yeah, I actually got the story here. I didn't get a chance to talk about it tonight, but yeah, you're right. It was in Argentina. It was either yesterday or the day before, but yeah, it actually had like a human-looking face. It was deformed, something genetically wrong. They didn't go into big details, but it didn't live very long either.
I wonder.
Well, I'm going to definitely check that out.
It's scary. What do you think about human mutilations? Because I finally took them off my computer. I just, I found myself I'll be honest with you. Every so often, I bring up the pictures and look at them because it just amazed me. But I had a bunch of pictures all from Argentina, matter of fact, Brazil, South America, the rainforest, all that stuff of people that were abducted and had, the same things done. Their sex glands removed, their heart removed, all done with like laser precision. And after looking at those pictures, it really just freaked me out. And I got that from somebody who used to be in the government high up.
Yeah, it's scary.
And that's what it looks like. It looks like it's going from cattle mutilation to human mutilation. And that's really scary. And then looking at all the missing people at the national parks, people who just vanish. Okay, 1 minute they're there, and another minute they're gone. Where did they go? What's happening to them? The ones that don't return, are they being experimented on? Are they being mutilated? I mean, that's a really scary thing. And the statistics for it, I mean, there's a multitude of people disappearing from our national parks.
And it's scary. You know that? It is. I still remember the case of the 5-year-old boy where the father and mother, the father was setting up the tent. The kid was, really a couple feet, maybe 20 feet, 25 feet away from the father. The father was keeping an eye on the kid like mad. Somehow managed to take his eyes off for a minute or so, and then looked, and his kid was gone. The rangers, they did a major search. There were rivers and creeks all by there. This kid is 5 years old. They find him, James, was it like 15 miles away on the side of a mountain? They find the bones and his clothes kind of like in a pile, and it's scary.
Yeah, they were folded up nice, but the thing was, the kid also had to cross a major river.
Yeah, impossible. And get 15 miles, a 5-year-old?
No way.
And that's what scares me, because, Paul, there is so many people missing in the national forest, and the park police don't really keep good records of it for some reason, or they won't give out any information. But if you go missing in a forest, they don't look for you for very long. They give up. And that is kind of scary. But it's not just that. I was reading here a month ago a statistic from the FBI, how many people in this country go out of their house, close the door, and totally disappear.
Right.
No trace of them. No nothing. I know we got serial killers out there, but not that many of them working, where thousands and thousands and thousands of people are missing without a trace. Where are they going? What scares me is, I don't know if you ever heard of Mary Joyce. She runs a UFO reporting center, a cryptic reporting center in Cashiers, North Carolina. And it's called SkyshipCashiers.com. And she was an editor for various newspapers and stuff in the past when there used to be newspapers. And she's been doing this for years. And she has been on my show numerous times. And she was talking about, again, a government agent or somebody with the government high up that had the highest clearance. And she verified this guy was real. Told her about this underground base, which she knew about, in North Carolina, and claimed that aliens are giving our military technology. But in exchange for this technology, Mary claims that, according to this government papers and what this guy said, that certain people, out there, a certain percentage of people can just totally disappear in exchange.
Oh, my goodness.
And you know what we're talking about, James. They, like a one-way barbecue.
To serve man. To serve mankind. And it doesn't mean to help us. It means to serve you up on a plate.
They like humans. That's what she said. They like humans. They're cannibals. That's what she said, quote unquote. They're cannibals.
Gary, it's funny that you would say that. Okay, when I was in military intelligence, one of my friends in military intelligence, he now works at the geospatial intelligence. And he told me he found out some information, and he wouldn't divulge on how he got the information. But he was talking about, he goes, I don't know if you ever heard this. He was telling me. He goes, but our intelligence agencies and our elite groups like Special Forces, Delta Force, and everything else were in cahoots with aliens. And they were working together in underground bases, and you probably heard about that. But they had what is called angel stops. And that was something I never heard of. And I said, what is an angel stop? The military was monitoring and doing like sit maps in the intelligence rooms and allowing the aliens to abduct people in certain areas of the United States, and they were called angel stops. And in turn was receiving technology, advanced technology from the aliens. But at some point of time, the aliens were going beyond what the military was allowing them to abduct. And because of that, there was a dispute between the military and the aliens, which caused like a little war between them. And these angel stops was allowed by the military. And I never heard that term before, but he told me, hey, they had what is called, and he learned about it from a higher senior official about angel stops.
Well, that fits in what I was told, too. And what I found very interesting, now, James, you might remember that, up in the mountains, right? What do you call those mountains there? In North Carolina?
Smoky, or was it Smoky?
No,
Blue Ridge.
Blue Ridge Mountains.
Blue Ridge.
Okay, she also got a report from the same individual that, and she also heard it from other people afterwards, that there is NATO troops in a secure area out in the middle of that. And why would NATO troops be on our land and doing maneuvers and doing all this stuff up in the Blue Ridge Mountains? I find that really interesting. And it's next to this underground base, by the way, which she said is expanding. She's managed to get some pictures of it showing that they're, making it bigger, mounds of dirt being, covered up with tarps and all this stuff. But again, she said the same thing, that these aliens were abducting people, but they love people more than was allowed to receive for their technology. So they were getting more, taking more. Harvesting, that's what the word was, harvesting more humans.
Harvesting.
And you know what really scared me when she said that about the NATO troops and the underground base? I had heard the same reports from different people, different sources. So when she said that, it kind of like validated, because she had different sources of stuff from same thing as I heard. So there's got to be something to this.
Well, there is, James, because again, I know a couple people that were with various government agencies, and they have told me when I brought it up, they won't go into it in much detail, but they said what you're saying is you could take it as true. And I heard that. And when I heard it like from two different ex-government agency guys, high up, they were high up, it scared me. Why would two different agency guys, one was with the C and the other one was with the Department of what? It kind of like scared me.
Exactly. And the guy that supposedly had a fight with aliens a few years back, he mysteriously committed suicide. I don't remember that. It was from El Dulce. But either way, he said that there is 129 secret bases, underground bases in the United States, and they all range about $17 billion apiece. So that just tells you there's all kinds of secret bases, and I don't doubt for a minute that there's one there in the Blue Ridge Mountains.
Oh, okay. Now you got me. I have to tell you. Okay. When I was in South Korea, in Seoul, Korea, we did what is called Operation Tango. and we were taken on a bus, and